Okay, we're streaming on YouTube.
The effective Fed fund rate at 3.64% from December
All
19th.
right.
That's unchanged from the 18th.
Okay, folks, so we're just waiting. Our range is starting to draw. The top line is the order long entry. The bottom line is the order short entry. The middle two lines are the calculation of the range, right? They are the calculation of the range. It's not that complicated. Range trades are pretty simple. So the market opened, and in 40 seconds, we're going to get our orders on the chart. And of course, there's risk. We don't know if it's going to follow to the upside, if it's going to push off to the downside. You never know.
Order submitted.
There's our orders. The range stopped calculating. I personally think we'll get filled to the long side. It's almost as slow today as it is on every day. Now, the YM is starting to push, right? Now, if you think the YM is like totally bullish, you could always enter now. You could always enter early. It should work also. You could, I say it should work, it's new software, right? I didn't test every single feature. You could also bring your order line down to right above where the price is. If you think the YM is just pushing up, pushing up, pushing up for a Christmas rally, then you could bring your order down for early magnet fill, right? Well, it's pretty quiet. All of a sudden, the market opened. It did drop, oh, 3, 11, 12 ticks. Just quietly, watching quietly. I watched the end of the Lions Lions Steelers game, and if the NFL is not rigged, I think I get so many videos after the weekend about all the games that bettors think are rigged. Now, there is a rule um, that you can't replay what happened last night. The Lions won the game, but they gave it to the Steelers, right? That's what it appeared, right, TJ? Isn't that what appeared to happen? The Lions won, but because of a random crazy rule and a penalty call, the Packers won. I think. Now, I'm not even sure. I mean, I'm not an expert on the NFL. I watch the Eagles because I live in the area with the Eagles. I think I'm not an NFL fanatic. I enjoy it. I'm not a fanatic, but I do believe that NFL is rigged for betting. There's no question it's rigged and scripted just like wrestling. It's no different. You can see it. The proof is in the videos. Video after video after video. Or it may very well be that so many players are compromised from betting um, that's the issue. The players being compromised. I did not see the Seahawks Rams game. Did the Rams win that one? The Seahawks won that? Seattle won that game? I didn't see it, so I'll have to watch a little bit of it. I don't know anybody who's on those teams. Totally agree, Arthur. Betting has ruined sports, and NIL has totally destroyed college sports. Destroyed it. No one cares. No one cares. That's the problem. I mean, some people care, not enough people. I don't know about oil, folks. I may just not trade it. Chantal, what do you think? I don't know. Not a terrible day to cancel the oil trade. I'm going to take this long on the YM though, if it triggers. Now, the programmer, I don't know what got into the programmer, but he changed the color to like poop brown on the auto mode. It's horrifying. Horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. He's got to put it back to purple. I don't know what he did. Yours is purple, TJ, right? It should be purple. The original is purple. Dark red. You could call it dark red, I suppose. But he definitely changed the update, and I don't like it one bit. I don't like it. It's, yeah, it's like really, really dark maroon, I guess. Looks kind of poopy colored to me. Looks kind of poopy colored. I don't like it. So looks like oil's going to fill short. Now, if you wanted to get filled early, you could have done range trade now, and that would put. Nope, I take it back. I'm wrong. Never mind. What I just said doesn't
Order
apply.
submitted.
What I just said does not apply. If it was calculating the range and the orders were not already on,
The VIX sits over
you
a
could
10
have
month low,
done
fast down
range
spot
trade
0
now,
points
and it
at
would end the
14.83.
calculation early. I'll go see Dr. Gundry, the poop doctor, the internet poop doctor, Dr. Gundry. I can't be the only person who gets those videos. I don't know why those videos go to my feed. Yes, I agree, Arthur. I have a feeling. Nope, never mind. I got a feeling deep inside. Oh yeah. I got
Voice news disconnected.
a feeling deep inside. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're short oil. Who knows that song? Everybody should know that song. Well, nobody knows that song. Nobody. Nobody knows the Beatles anymore. I saw an interview, not an interview, but a show with Rob Reiner, pretty recent, where he asked everybody in the audience to clap if they heard of All in the Family, if they haven't heard of All in the Family. And most everyone had not heard of it. Pretty crazy. Is I got a feeling on Abbey Road, Arthur? Are you sure about that? I thought it was on Let It Be. I think it's on Let It Be. What do you think? I don't think it's Abbey Road, is it? It's Let It Be. All right, so it's 9:10. It's 9:10. I want the first target. I want that first target on oil. I might be very aggressive and take it early. Now, I do need my MNQ screen. I am going to shrink my oil screen because we don't need a big fat screen, but I do need my MNQ if I'm going to trade the MNQ open, right?
China's Commerce Ministry on Nexperia says we have exempted eligible chip exports. And Commerce Ministry on Nexperia urges relevant firms to conduct talks over ownership and resuming the supply chain.
So I'm going to bring back an existing chart. Oh, look at this. I don't have an extra chart on this. So I'm going to duplicate a chart. I'm going to duplicate my YM chart. Do I remember how to do it? Right click. Nope, that's not how to do it. Oh, yeah, right click. I thought right click. There it is. Duplicate in new window. Okay, now I have a YM chart duplicated. I right clicked the YM 326 down at the bottom there. All right. And I'm going to make that an MNQ chart. MNQ
Order
0326.
filled.
Okay, we got our first target on oil, going to break even, plus a tick or two. Not expanding the target anymore yet. Not yet. So it's a winner, winner. Not going to say chicken dinner because that really ticks me off. I think leaving the target where it is fairly reasonable. I think right now that's reasonable. The VWAP could make for an interesting target, right? You can always trail if it keeps going. So I'm going to expand my target. And I'm going to add one more tick. And right in the middle, I've got my MNQ. So we're getting ready for an MNQ open. All right. Getting ready for an MNQ open. Where do you like the second target, Chantal? at the VWAP? Because right now it feels kind of random, you know? Maybe above 70, like 71. It's not a bad target. It's moving down, so I'm trailing my stop a little bit. On my MNQ chart, I'm putting
China calls for companies to resume global chip and
right
supply
click,
chains.
click on strategy, double click news trader, change the breakout to a reverse continue. All right, reverse continue. Couple of contracts on the MNQ. Couple of contracts, and I'm going to make it three. I'm doing a 50 tick target, 75 tick stop. It's a discretionary trade. 75 tick stop. Going to label the trade MNQ reversal. All right, or continue. Everyone knows that means continue. Putting it in my MNQ funded open account. MNQ funded open account, Studio 54 we call it, because the number of the account is 54. That's just my discretionary setup. Target of 50, stop of 75. The target could be 30, the target could be 80. It's however you want your discretionary trade. Nothing about that is in stone. It's just an opportunity if the chart allows it after the open. That's all it is. The main trade is really the breakout. All right? That's the main trade. So we'll set up our breakout. I'll put the charts on sim for a moment. Right click the chart. Click the word strategy. Hang on, I am trailing my oil just a tiny bit more because it's moving down. I'm going to expand my target. If oil wants to keep going, I'm going to go with it. All right? I'm going to try and go with it. Okay, right click MNQ to get the strategy. Click News Trader. Leave it on breakout. I'm going to load my template. Load MNQ open. MNQ open. It should say new. MNQ new open. That's what I'm looking for. MNQ. There it is. MNQ new open. Going to date it the right date by right clicking it and renaming it. Today is the 22nd. And I'm loading it. And I'm triggering in a trade at 9:29:59. $929.59, bracket of 40, targets of 30 and 70, stop 125, target one stop move, break even. If it hits my first target, I move my stop to target one stop move. All right. Okay. I'm reading what you say, Chantal. No problemo. Then my MNQ breakout. I'm going to leave it on sim for a minute. It's labeled MNQ market open BRK. Putting the time on 0 because I want to look at the bracket width, the management, how wide it is before we actually take this trade. I'm not loving the fact that the MNQ is at the
Order
high of the
submitted.
day. I wish it was at the low of the day. Not, I wish it was 30, 40 ticks, 50 ticks, 80 ticks off the high.
Order canceled.
Right click. I want to get rid of the annoying line today. Under optional, Show vertical line on entry. I'm just turning that off. And then I'm going to look at those brackets again.
Order submitted.
So that's manageable in terms of the width. All right.
Order canceled.
I think that what is going to happen on the MNQ, oil's going to take me out, it looks like, with a decent profit. Breakout MNQ, we're going to go back to putting our time at the correct breakout time, not at 0. 9:29:59 is the trigger. Bracket of 40. Targets of 30 and 70. The amount of contracts you trade is up to you. Whatever risk you want to risk, that's up to you. You don't have to follow my number of contracts. Target one stop move. And I'm going to revisit this trade management at the beginning of the year. Right now, if it hits my first target, I'm going to break even. BE. Stop is 125 ticks. I'm tempted. Beginning of the year, I might move to the NQ. Put the account on the market open, funded account for the MNQ, which, as everyone knows who's a regular, that's been a troubled account. I've almost destroyed that account, and it's made a little bit of a comeback. Oil has very bullish signals, if you notice. It does have very, very bullish signals. Right now, the squeeze got very bullish. That I think it's going to take me out. Back to the MNQ, it's labeled BRK MNQ open. Trading in the correct account. We got to move chart trader to that account. Breakout trade triggering at 9:29:59. Put the chart trader on the account you're trading in. That is a funded trade. $54.54. Okay, oil is on its funded account. Made money on it. Glad we just traded normally. We talk about trying to outthink the market every day. We try to outthink the market. We realize over and over that I realize for me, it's better if I don't try to outthink the market. Every now and then there's a rare occasion where you might want to do what you think the market's going to do because your analysis tells you, even though it's a market open. And more often than not, it's best to leave market opens alone, let them trade, rather than try to outthink it. Every now and then you get a situation where maybe it's a world event, maybe it's a comment, you just get such a powerful motivation to go in one direction that you take it no matter what. I'm posting again the link for today's graduation class. It is different than the regular link. So we'll be announcing the prizes, the winners of the challenge. Everyone who came is a winner. That's how I look at it. So there's nothing better than watching your daughter's pets while she goes traipsing around the world on vacation and the dog develops the worst diarrhea and vomiting in the history of humanity. Nothing beats that.
Order filled.
My office smells like the Bronx Zoo. So we made $140 on our oil trade. Oil's very bullish. I mean, there's no denying it. It's moving up. The squeeze is pushing up. Okay? If we would have had our squeeze signals on, they would have given a buy signal. Uh, Even as far back, well, it would depend. It would depend on how it was filtered, but definitely you'd get a buy signal at 916. And they started triggering a little bit before that, 914. The thing about signals is you can filter them. All right, we're just paying it, just watching right now. Now we're just waiting for the open. I'm waiting for my YM to see if that becomes a magnet in one direction or the other. If you remember what my YM setup is, if it fills, if it goes through my heavy order line, that thick line, all the way to the right, the YM, the first target will be 3 ticks before it gets to the high, and then I have another target. I forget if I said 10 or 15 ticks through the magnet. I know I said at least 10. And similar on the downside. It makes a lot more sense to do a VWAP trade on the downside, probably. I think the YM's going up. Everything looks like it's heading up this morning. Oil's done. Okay, you could get rid of, I'm done with oil. We made a nice little profit on our oil trade, so I can get rid of the main strategy. That's why we label our strategies, folks. I'm not going to trade oil again. I'm getting rid of my reversal, just less confusion, shrinking down the chart, and now we could pretty much just go back to our normal 2 chart layout for the open. There's our topmost clock, our friendly clock. And our control panel, whatever they call it. Did they actually call it the control panel? I don't think I've ever seen an official name for it. So the MNQ is bullish. The YM is somewhat bullish. Anybody have any questions? You know, Arthur, I never really liked that song all that much, 909. That's not one of my favorite Beatles songs at all. I tend to like the more musical stuff, real melodic. I love the iconic, majestic Hey Jude's, Let It Be's the most. Okay, Francis, they call it the control center. That's what I thought. I thought it was not called the control panel. I did not think it was called the control panel. All right, we're just
1 minute
waiting
now
on
to
the
get the
open
markets
here.
on open imbalance.
So our brackets are going to show up
10 seconds.
shortly. On the left,
Order submitted.
there's our brackets.
Markets
Order
on open
submitted.
imbalance. S&P 500
Filled
Order
buy
short,
side
failed.
hit the first
186 million.
target,
Nasdaq 100
expanding the
buy side
target,
11 million. Dow 30 buy side 29
trailing
million.
down,
And Mag
trailing
7 buy
down,
side of 2
expanding the
million.
target, trailing
Order
down,
failed.
took me out, too close. YM looks like it's going to go long
Order
on the
submitted.
magnet. Hit that first target. I pulled my stop down, but I think it's going to get me anyway. I want a bigger stop on the YM. Maybe down to the top of the consolidation area. Hit the first target, will you? Hit the
Order
first.
failed.
There we go.
Order filled.
And okay, 110 on the YM. You had to be quick to expand the target. One thing I've learned about magnets, targets got to be bigger than you. Stops got to be bigger than you think. Stops got to be bigger than you think. YM has been regularly going through the
Order
targets.
submitted.
I'll take a little bit of a scalp here.
Order filled.
All right, I just added like $200 to my
UK
YM
Chancellor Reeves asks
with a
the
quick
Office of
scalp.
Budget Responsibility
Quick
to prepare
scalp.
forecasts for March the 3rd, 2026.
Quick scalp. All right, so MNQ, a nice winner. I expanded the target, and then really what it gave me was I had 2 contracts at my first target. I had 2 contracts at my second target. It did not make it to the second
UK
target,
government says the spring forecast will not make
but
an
I had
assessment of
moved
the
my
government's
stop
performance
into
against the fiscal
safety
mandate and instead
all
provide
the
an
way
interim update on the
to the
economy and public
location
finances.
of the first target. So it gave me 4 contracts of my first target, okay? 4 targets of my first, 4 contracts of my first target. So $55 MNQ
Nvidia
open,
shares up on spot 2%
375 on the
after reports that the
YM
company aims to begin H200 chip shipments to China by
magnet,
mid-February.
but I was willing to expand my stop on that YM magnet.
Micron up
And then I did a
2.6%
quick
after rising
scalp
about
because the
7% in
YM's
the
just
previous session.
day after day after day, it's been bursting and bursting on the upside, is the truth. So I just did a quick scalp on that. That's the reason I did it. That's the reason we have the reverse continuation set up on the chart. After I take a scalp, I turn it off and on. The YM magnet, that's over. Okay, that trade is over. Now, let's watch because you want to leave it on. I'm going to turn it off so that I just get signals. Now watch. On the YM magnet, we should get a signal to the short side when it starts pulling off that high. All right, let's see if it works this morning. And I did not configure it for signals, so it might not work. It should, but it might not. We'll see. Breakout MNQ is over, so I'm removing that. And then the MNQ, interestingly, we did get filled short. We did get filled short. So Nitin, the reason my YM magnet worked, I expanded the target rather quickly. The stop, I keep saying target, the stop. A 35 stop on the YM open is way too small. It's got to be almost double that. It's just too small. There's too much volatility. 35 is too small. So I'll be expanding that tomorrow. going forward. If it's too much risk, trade one contract. On a YM magnet, one contract is fine. I felt that the YM was bullish, and I didn't want to get caught in that little pullback. You can't even see the pullback on a 1 minute chart. You can't even see it. Now, here comes possibly a signal on the downside. Let's see if it signals. I did not have a magnet on the MNQ. If I had it on, we could have gotten signals. The MNQ gave a great short signal right here. Right there. At 9:33, we had an excellent short signal from the MNQ. And it continued to, what's the word? When it continues proving it? What's the word I'm looking for? But it continued giving, not giving more short signals, but proving, showing that the signal was valid. Because you had big, it looks like now that the MNQ is going to test the low. Look at the tight range though. Look where the high is. 795 and the low 631. That's a really tight range on the MNQ. And that's holiday ranges, right? That's a holiday range, in my opinion. That is a holiday range. Now I'm just watching. I'm just watching. If I wanted. Now, we did not get signals. Did I turn them on? I wonder why we didn't get it. I didn't have it on. No, we should have. I think we should have had a signal there. I think we should have had a signal there. I think we should have. And it didn't. And it didn't. So I got to check that. I got to check that. The signal should have been at about 9:36. 9:36. There was a great short signal on the YM. Let me look at the configuration. YM magnet. Let me just make a note. 106.11. 106.11 in my video. No YM short signal. So high of day, low of day. Just looking at my configuration, understanding everyone out here, I'm testing the new software. High of day, low of signals is on. Only need one bar. And I'm not seeing signals at all. So it definitely should have had a signal. It's showing up standalone but not high of day, low of day. Okay. So I have to talk to the programmer about that. Definitely should have been a signal. All right. It made new highs, and that's where the signal's coming from. YM looks like it wants to go test the low. Remember I said the VWAP might be a good trade also? It did do the VWAP test. It did do a VWAP test. So we were watching the YM about 9, right? 9 o'clock. You could have put in a YM magnet for the VWAP, but I felt the long side was better for the open. I did not expect this much of a pullback after the open. That's a pretty sizable pullback. It pulled back the whole open move. Yeah, the signal's the arrow. All right, everybody. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? Oh, silver was lousy. Silver was terrible. What happened on silver? It'll be too much audio, Arthur. There would be too many sounds, too many signals, maybe. It's probably not going to be in this version, unfortunately. It's too late for it now. What happened on silver, guys? That's a bad silver open. So MNQ did a nice pullback from the high also, and also gave great signal. 934, 4-ish, even before. It gave a very strong signal. If you waited and were very careful on your signal, you could have waited for this bar, and it still would have been a fantastic trade. 366 ticks. 366 ticks. All right, everybody. That's what we got going today. Let me say goodbye on the
Tesla
tube
shares
on
today record
YouTube.
high,
Thank you,
last up
everyone,
2.5%.
for watching us on YouTube. I did post our, we have a final class today at noon. So thanks for joining us. We are going to stream tomorrow morning. We're going to stream GDP. Nope, market
So a
open
draft
tomorrow. Yeah,
Pentagon
GDP.
report says that China likely loaded over
We'll
100
be streaming at 8
intercontinental
o'clock
ballistic
tomorrow.
missiles
So I'll
over
see
3
everybody
silo
tomorrow
fields.
on YouTube. Thanks for joining us.